I'm glad I got that out of my system. A little dark humor every now and again helps me appreciate the wholesome stuff. So yes, a certain blue pony made a return with her usual flair, but also some surprising depth. One of the things that makes Trixie appealing is her ego. Because many of Equestria's residents usually show humility and kindness, Trixie was a wake-up call in Season 1 that not every pony is going to be sugary sweet. Whereas Sunset Shimmer and Starlight Glimmer gave up a lot of their old personalities upon reformation, Trixie has remained herself even after admitting fault in Magic Duel. So it makes a lot of sense that two reformed antagonists would find mutual ground. They both have felt exclusion and discomfort for past mistakes. Yet Trixie's ego added an element of uncertainty to the whole event. Was she doing this to recruit a more powerful unicorn for her show? Was this to get back at Twilight? Or was this a sincere attempt at making a connection? The answer is all three. None of the trio of magic users was a cookie-cutter character. Twilight, Starlight, and Trixie all had mixed motives, biases, and conflicting thoughts. This made the episode much more dynamic and interesting than if it had been cast in absolutes. The one thing this conflict didn't do was provide for comedy. I mean, Trixie's disorientation at the end was kind of funny, but they were mostly serious. So thank goodness the show brought in the cavalry. Guest cameos by fan favorites. One-liners followed up by offended dignity. And I'm not sure who had the better freakout, Rainbow Dash or Big Macintosh. This was using the Ponyville setting to full effect, both visually and in writing. And while I understand how thrilled folks were to see Trixie return and become more than a braggart, I'm more impressed by how Starlight is starting to develop her own character. I thought of her as Sunset Shimmer 2.0 and the Crystalline, as they shared similar traits: hesitation about new interactions, greater passivity, bringing up their past mistakes almost every scene. Yet there were several points where Starlight tried for the quick fix with her magic, to make things the way she wants rather than adapting to the situation. That's a hint of the old Starlight, which doesn't diminish her character, but rather shows us how one song montage isn't enough to change a character 100%. As someone who doesn't enjoy hasty shifts in characters, I'm glad. That's not to say it's a flawless presentation. Little things make me scratch my head. I've never seen Mrs. Cake react with such hostility, so in many ways I think she had it coming when she got frosted. But more than that, I'm starting to wonder about Celestia. She's enjoyed a lot more screen time this season, yet she seems joyless. She had no reaction to Flurry Heart's birth other than focusing on a naturally born alicorn. She was conversational with Twilight in Gauntlet of Fire, but also a little dismissive of how ponies needed her help. And here she seems to be offended that she has to visit her former student and hold a non-conversation with guest stars. I'm not sure if this is thematic or just trying to fit her into the needs of the script. I'm curious going forward how she's going to be presented. I should mention Fluttershy, who seems afraid of a species she tamed in Season 1. However, in this case she's being put in the position of an observer and knows that whatever's going to happen will involve a hostile, loud creature. I think she's smart to be worried, and her reaction highlights the danger, which leads to the elephant in this episode. Does a penitent Trixie try to take her own life out of despair? After all, I saw Tanks for the Memories as an example of the grieving process, so I understand how people would view this episode as a lens. However, Tanks for the Memories featured each stage of the grieving process, whereas Trixie doesn't appear to display the warning signs. It's happening much too quickly. I view this as Trixie following through with an attitude of, the show must go on, even though she's lost her assistant. It's by no means a smart move, and if people can use this scene to illustrate the issue, I say go for it, but I don't view it as the best vessel by which to cover such an important topic. So much like Ember's introduction, Trixie's friendship with Starlight opens new avenues for returning characters and storyline. The Traveling Trixie can be a call to draw Starlight into the larger world, and perhaps include Twilight. It was a fun, comical, and heartfelt episode. Welcome back, Trixie. I'm Silver Quilted. Thanks for watching.